Hello, welcome back to the channel. So as I've been painting my Epic Battles Hail Caesar, I've got an inkling to go back to my Montrose miniatures and Epic Battles Pike and Shot and do some work with them. So that's what I've done. I believe in following my muse. So I'm just going to show off what I've done, talk about the army, talk about where it's going. So this is kind of almost the midpoint of the army. One of the nice things about my Epic Battles Pike and Shot is I've assigned sort of sizes and what I'm going to collect for the armies. So for my Montrose Army, for example, I'm going to have 3 Irish regiments, 2 Pike and Shot from kind of Aberdeen area, a couple of units of cavalry, some artillery, and 4 units of Highlanders, and that'll be done. So it's a nice controllable project. So this is what I've done. So the first Pike and Shot unit I did, I kind of went more grey for all the tunics, Hudden and the Flodden. So this was the first one I did, and it's probably as good to just join the Covenant as opposed to Montrose. And my Covenant will look a wee bit more uniform. Obviously, you can see there where I've picked up some different colours on the trousers. So based on that, I wanted a bit more raggedy for the Highlanders, Scottish pike blocks. So you see here, got grey tunics and brown tunics. I've mixed up the bonnet colours as well slightly. Wee bit of detailing on the trousers. I'm going to show off some of my process in detail as well. As I've flipped them around, I've realised I've not painted the checkers on the back pike blocks, kind of tartan roll things I've done. So with the tartan rolls as well, originally started off doing it all dark green, or sort of quite a bright green, and I've just added some simple red lines and checks to it, just to give the impression of it. And then I experimented with some lighter greens. I didn't quite like how the lighter greens worked with the red check either, so I went back to sort of a darker green. These are the Highlanders I've done, kind of mixed them up as well. Again, it's me giving myself an impression of what a Highland unit would be. Again, I'm just painting lines down one way, and if I feel I need to put a couple of lines going the other way to create a bit of checks, that's what I'm doing. I really enjoyed painting the Highland figures. It's the Highland figures when I saw that I knew I wanted to do sort of a Scots force for the Pike and Shot. Now the other thing you'll have noticed there when I've been moving the miniatures around, I've gone for bigger bases for everything. So I've gone 60 by 30 mil bases. So I'd originally done that, if I pull up one of my English pike blocks, as you can see here, to originally give my front rank a big base, and the rest were just on your standard warlord bases. Had a game of Pike and Shot on Wednesday just gone, and my opponent had the big bases, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to rebase everything on big bases. So all these fellas are going to go on big bases. That's going to do a couple of things, but primarily it's going to allow me to put more grass and foliage onto the bases as well. Make the bases look a bit more interesting. For the Scottish units, I'm going to get some purple flowers to represent like heather as well, so that'd be quite cool. So I've done like a wee artillery park as well, so some light guns and some medium guns there as well. I've kind of mixed in the Scottish figures with some of the sort of standard artillery crews as well. Now for the Irish regiments, there's 3 units of Irish regiments. Pike and Shot Epic Battles has the rules as having them being a regular pike block, whereas I picked up the Montrose supplement for, I think it's to the strongest, for Parliament and King, to the set of rules. and they have the Irish as like a commanded shot. Now, neither of those two approaches felt right to me. I didn't think it'd be a full pike block, and I didn't think there'd be as light a troops as Pike and Shotte. So my solution has been to go to 3 bases with a base of a strip of muskets in the front and a strip of the pike behind. So it's going to give not quite the feeling of a full sort of pike and musket block, still give it a bit of weight, and still cover a decent size on the battlefield. Now, as I was popping these on the bases, I thought actually what I could do is maybe throw couple of wee kind of commanded shot skirmishing models in front of that as well, just to give it a bit of extra impetus. So that's why I've left it unbased. Now, this basing isn't finished, but it's a step closer to getting done. And what I'll do is I'll paint up some figures, see how they fit and look on the bases. Now, with the Irish, I have done them green. I know pretty much they probably didn't wear green, but I've mixed in browns with them as well. Sort of browns will, if you're trying to do it historically, would be the predominant colour for the unit, but I do like a green Irish unit on the battlefield. That's my preference. It's okay. You know, the hobby is a broad church. So let's look at some of the details of where we are and my methodology. So what I'm doing, this is one of my Scots. So what I've done is put the base colours down, and with the base colours I've generally used contrast paints. Trousers, I've actually just left the colour I undercoated them. Then I've thrown an Agrax earth shade over everything, darkened it down, bring out the details. As you see here, originally I had done light and dark green. Didn't really take to the light green, so I've redone everything dark green. So once that's done, my next step is going to be to start going over the miniatures with lighter, more solid colours. So I picked up the greys, bit of extra work on the bags. Didn't do too much with the trousers. You can see with the sort of tartan there, I've just painted those lines across it. Actually, for the sort of sergeant there, officer, I've gone a bit more extra check there. Then I've just taken a white and painted it on the cross belts there. Then on the front, which is the same as on the back, and last thing I do is paint the faces with sort of wraithbone and throw some glimmer flesh wash on it. So quite a nice simple paint job. And then if we're looking at Highlanders, we're at the Highlanders. These have all been base coated and shaded. I've not got any as a mid stage, but you can see how I'm using similar sort of methodology there. We've got some browns down, put some greens down, throw my shade on it, and then I'll pick out some highlight colours, paint some checks on. I will add some colours to tone down the ginger hair there. I'm quite aware that is quite a vibrant orange. So yeah, that's where I am with my Pike and Shotte at the moment. Really enjoyed it, really enjoyed the games. Like I say, I got a desire to paint the models, so I'll follow that desire. The other thing I've managed to do, I don't know if I showed these off the other day, but I've finished the Parliamentarian Commanders pack, which has been quite cool. For those two just need based, and these fellas probably need a wee companion figure to go along with them. What I generally do is my brigade commanders or battalion commanders for Pike and Shotte will be sort of 2 figures on a round base, and I might do some army commands where I've got 3 figures on a slightly larger base. But there we are. That's where at the moment with Pike and Shotte. One of the things I did think when I was playing the game on Wednesday was this looked amazing, that I actually took my parliamentarian troops out against my opponent's Scots force. These weren't quite ready yet, weren't based, And yeah, it was a spectacular looking battle. It wasn't a big battle, but it was still spectacular. And I got absolutely trounced. I don't know what I've done to the dice gods. This year, I just don't seem to be able to win any games. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But anyway, that's everything I wanted to show off today. I'm having a great time with wargaming at the moment. I hope you are as well. And I look forward to chatting to you in another video. That's goodbye for now. Goodbye.